How were the 13th Amendment's backroom deals made? Imagine a time when ending slavery seemed like an impossible dream. Behind the scenes, powerful negotiations and political trades played a big role in making the 13th Amendment a reality. The amendment, which abolished slavery across the United States, was not just a simple vote. It was a complex process filled with deals and compromises. Even though the Senate approved it in April 1864, the House of Representatives initially failed to pass it. President Abraham Lincoln knew he had to act fast. He worked closely with his allies, including Secretary of State William H. Seward and Representative John B. Alley, to secure enough votes. They used incentives like promising government jobs and campaign contributions to persuade some Democrats to support the amendment. Seward managed a large fund to help finance these efforts. Some people saw these negotiations as corruption, but Lincoln and his team believed they were necessary to pass such a historic law. By January 1865, the vote was still too close, so Lincoln made personal appeals to members of Congress. The vote was postponed until January 31, 1865, when the House finally approved the amendment by a narrow margin. The political climate was tense because the Civil War was still raging, and many Southern states had seceded and were not represented in Congress. Lincoln also linked the amendment to the Republican Party platform in the 1860 for presidential election to gather more support. After Congress approved it, the amendment went to the states for ratification, which was completed by December 6, 1865. However, the language of the amendment included an important exception that allowed involuntary servitude as punishment for a crime. This loophole later led to practices like convict leasing and black codes, which unfairly targeted Black Americans and made it harder for them to enjoy true freedom. From the perspective of Black Americans, the 13th Amendment was a huge step forward, ending slavery legally and symbolically. But the behind-the-scenes deals and political compromises show that ending slavery was not just about morality. It was also about power and negotiation. The exception clause reminds us that even after slavery was abolished, systemic challenges to Black freedom persisted. The passage of the 13th Amendment was made possible through political deals, strategic lobbying, and Lincoln's leadership. It was a victory, but also a reminder that freedom and justice requiring ongoing effort and vigilance.